Back with more Walking Dead. This is episode 17 of season 10. Feels good to be able to say Walking Dead is back. These are the 6 bonus episodes that are being added on to season 10. Obviously kind of a holdover in between seasons really, but it's kind of a addition to, you know, the end of season 10. Kind of an unexpected thing, but because of the pandemic and everything, it's kind of cool that I don't even think they needed to kind of produce extra episodes and anything, just kind of wait a bit longer for season 11 to probably get going. But the fact that they have chosen to extend this story a little bit, delve in and adapt other bits of comic lore from what I've been told, I think is really, really cool that they've actually decided to do that when, you know, they had fulfilled an entire 16 episode season for us, but to give us another 6 is really, really cool of them. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with these extra few episodes. I've kind of stayed away from like reading synopsises, is that a word, and seeing like who's going to be in every single episode. But either way, I'm pretty hyped to see how they're going to continue the story on a bit from where we left off, with Beta being killed, the Whisperer War seemingly coming to an end. What's going to happen next? Either way, I'm very excited to find out, and it's good to have more Walking Dead to watch. So let's get into this next bonus episode. Oh, shit. Yeah, that went about as I expected.
Well, shit. Herschel's fine. Don't worry.
Everyone else.
Show me Herschel. Oh, man. Because Maggie hasn't lost enough. Got to destroy Hilltop.
We were gonna lose everything. Negan's the reason we didn't.
So what
I mean,
now?
if she never forgives him, I like completely get it.
It's good to see her though.
Agreed.
You know, keep an eye out. Ronnie.
Hell yeah. We better find her bloody soon. Feels very cinematic so far, the way they're shooting this.
About a half hour left, boss. You're lucky.
I thought he was trying to get the sun out of his eyes then. I was like, you're wearing a mask. Whoa. Jesus. This reminds me of season 5 when those two and Sasha were trying to keep the walkers out of the barn. Lovely.
Not long after the place fell, we ran. And I haven't seen her since.
Well, that bodes well.
You're good.
I almost came home after Knoxville. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have.
Why didn't you?
She calls it home still, though, which is wholesome.
Glenn and I talked about going there. Not forever, just for a little while. We never did.
It's been 3 seasons. They still mention Glenn. I tear up.
He loved it. Waves twice his size knocking it to the ground. He just bounced right back up laughing. It was so peaceful. Hardly any walkers. One night we stayed up really late, told him stories about his family.
I want the show to end with all of them going to this place.
He asked how his daddy died. I knew he would. I knew it was coming. I told him that a bad man killed him. He wanted to know if that man got what he deserved.
Oh, bloody hell.
Truth is, I left home because I couldn't have Negan taking up any more space in my head. And then I realized I didn't want to bring Herschel back to that.
That kind of makes sense, to be honest. Aww. As much as I love all the new guys and I would die for Connie, it is nice to always be reminded, like, the people who've been here for so long. Kind of really shows, you know, how things have changed.
Hey, isn't your friend supposed to be on watch?
Uh-oh. She's gone looking for Connie.
Her sister's missing.
Aww. If anyone can understand that pain, it's Maggie.
He just lost his, too.
Aww. Little do they know, Connie's with that weird man. Wonder why he always wears that mask.
No.
Uh-oh. Can just something go right for Maggie at some point, you know? That'd be nice. Change it up.
It's them. They're out here.
We don't know that.
Oh, who is it?
It's the Reapers.
Reapers?
What's a Reaper? People who attacked our home.
An ominous name, that's what it is.
We split up the group. No way.
Our people are out there.
Famously good idea. I love their friendship, those two. You okay, bud? What's going on there?
Can you,
Imagine if it's just Rick. Surprise! Okay, it's not Rick.
This is a lot, but you're not alone. You and me. Okay?
Aww. Does he like see that mask as more protection for him maybe? It makes him feel safer somehow. Oh, hello.
Daryl! Daryl! Everyone stand down! Daryl, she's one of ours. Come on, let's go. Thank God.
Nice to meet you.
We know who did it. The goddamn Reapers.
Oh! Well. Well, I mean, at least he had a line, you know? Made his mark on the world. If you go down to the woods today, run the fuck away. Oh my god, these people are dropping like flies. How did they last this long? Don't do it.
Maya, get down!
Maya, Maya, oh. Oh. Oh boy. That's nice that she's still trying to, like, point them in the right direction. Shiny new gun, though. That's nice. I see you. Ha. Jesus. It's a bloody swamp thing. Oh, shit. That's right, dick. How is he walking all this off? Is he wearing like 50 layers? Like, is he doing like a Joey from Friends? This could have gone better.
Come on.
Oh. Nicely done.
Daryl, wait!
Boat walk, Jim.
What?
Get down!
Oh, well. That's disgusting. Went out with a bang. I mean, I'm glad you're not, but why the hell are not a single one of you dead? Like, that was really close range, right?
Hey, Mom.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh, look at him. I'll already die for this child.
I know you helped Elijah. Thank you. He's been through a lot.
I was gonna say, I think every single one of you need therapy.
Connie always kept an eye on me. Even when she had her own life.
Because she's the best.
You seem like you've been in charge of people your whole life. You protect them. Just like my sister. I hope I get to meet her someday. You will.
Fuck yeah. Ugh, Maggie can just have such an interesting relationship with any character, I think. There's something her and Herschel both had in common.
It's real quiet out there. Does this mean you're coming home?
These people deserve one. So does Herschel. I'll deal with Negan if I have to. But now the only thing that matters is Alexandria.
Ugh, she's so strong. Love her.
This is home sweet home.
Ha! That's what the episode's called. Oh boy. That's going to be quite the pairing to keep an eye on. And she's not letting her mind think too much on him again, like she was talking about earlier. Filling space in her head. Okay, another really great episode. A good kind of breather episode, I would say, probably, coming off of the finale and having to like end the Whisperer War and all the tension that came with that. It was good to, you know, we still had like some threats to fight and everything, and there was still kind of villain to defeat. But it wasn't like huge stakes, whole army of Whisperers to take out, you know, whole horde of walkers to deal with. It was kind of a slower one. Everyone just kind of taking a step back, which makes sense because, you know, these guys are pretty tired, I would say. You know, you don't want to just throw them straight into, okay, here's the next big bad we need to face. And the fact that, you know, they were supposed to end the season with the last episode, I wasn't expecting, like, a big thing with the Eugene and all those, you know, stormtrooper people. Because obviously the intention for that was to just be left for season 11, and then these bonus episodes I think are just going to be like extra character stuff. I'm sure they will do more and touch up with Eugene and everyone at some point in these episodes, I imagine, but you know, I wasn't expecting that to be like the big arc for these bonus ones. And I love that they kind of started off choosing to focus a lot on Maggie because she only just came back in the last episode, and you know, a few brief moments, but it was great to get a chance to let that character breathe again and see, you know, get some glimpses of what she's been up to with Georgie and everything. Clearly hasn't gone brilliantly. Trying to help communities, not always working out. These Reapers, that kind of new group that I imagine are going to continue to be a bit of a threat going forward. I don't know if they're going to be like a new villain for the show. I don't know if they're from the comics or not. I haven't read them yet. I'm waiting until the show ends to actually get into the comics. Just in case of spoilers and stuff, really, in case they, you know, directly adapt a lot of things. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of meet those and see that Maggie has a history with them. They don't exactly know why they're even being hunted by them in the first place. You know, they're just doing it for territory reasons. Is there something deeper going on with that? I'm sure that's going to be something that they explore in future. And that guy, not willing to talk about any of those motivations either. You know, he just blew himself up. So I mean, you do you, pal. And that's what you want to. That's what you want to do. Then okay. I'd say, you know, that's the bed you've made. Now lie in it. Can't really lie on anything now, can he? But yeah, I'm intrigued to see where that's going to go, and if we're going to get a bit more focus on these Reapers and exactly what their deal is in future. Yeah, so the fact that Maggie's back is great, and I love seeing her. Maggie is always kind of one of my favourites, particularly because I think, you know, they paired her with Glenn, who was and will forever be my favourite Walking Dead character, I think. So to see that part of him's still alive now that Maggie's back in the show, and we have little Herschel as well, it makes my heart full again, which it hasn't been since 701, and the less said about that trauma, the better. So yeah, it's just great to have Maggie back, see how she can interact with all these different people, you know, seeing the long connection that her and Daryl have had, get a nice moment of friendship between them, seeing Elijah and Cole, I think, were the two people with her, and the fact that, you know, she's kind of made some friends with them and they've been living together now, the idea of them trying to find a new home since their last one was destroyed by the Reapers. brief interactions between her and Carol, obviously more so confronting her about letting Negan out and exactly what that meant. But in the scene with Maggie and Daryl a bit later on in the episode, probably about halfway through, one of my favourite scenes actually of the episode, just those two old friends reconnecting and talking about stuff. It seemed she understood what Carol had to do, and Carol felt, Negan letting him out was the best chance to kill Alpha, and I think it probably was, and it paid off. And it's just now, do we still let Negan have this chance to continue a redemption, potentially? And can Maggie ever look past that or forgive him? I love what she was saying about, the reason she didn't come back sooner was because she didn't want to let Negan into her head more than he already was, and he didn't want to leave that on Herschel as well, because it's not going to be easy for him to be like, oh yeah, this is the guy who killed your father. Let's get along great. You're living in the same neighborhood as this guy now. So if Maggie can never truly forgive Negan, I completely get it, because he took so much from her. He took a whole future and happiness from her, and it's not something she can be happy. She can have a good future, but she can never have it with Glenn. So the fact that even Carol was saying, I don't think she'll ever really forgive him. I kind of get it. I wouldn't hold that against her. As much as I enjoy Negan as a character, and I think he's brilliant, and I think to an extent he has redeemed a lot of his actions, I don't know if I'll ever truly forgive him for Glenn and Abraham, obviously. But, character development has happened, but I think Maggie's judgment will always be coloured of Negan, and I think that's completely fair enough, given why it was coloured. So yeah, catching up with them was great, and to see a bit of interaction with some of the OG characters that have been around since seasons 1 and 2. The fact that a couple of them are still around, it's great to kind of show how far the show's come and changed and everything. And I think this episode also showcased that in the way it was directed. It felt very cinematic at times, I thought. I don't know if that's just because of COVID restrictions and stuff. They kind of have to film it differently. Maybe that's why it felt a bit different. But I quite liked the style they went for. Bit of slow motion, bit of close-ups of the guy's eye opening when he was stalking Maggie. That was all very good. And yeah, one of my favourite scenes, as I mentioned, was Maggie and Daryl just talking overnight. And Maggie's description of her and Glenn always talking about going to that place. And she ended up being able to take Herschel there, and he absolutely loved it. And everything with that was just so wholesome and very emotional. And it's nice that amongst all of this awfulness, Maggie still kind of found that slice of time to be really happy and have that moment of joy with her son. Love that. And hopefully Herschel can maybe find that again in Alexandria. I don't know if she's going to tell him exactly who Negan is, or is she just going to let that slide? Because obviously he was asking us questions about Glenn's death and everything. But, she never actually said if she told Herschel, if Negan was dead or not. If the guy who killed his dad is dead or not. She could have told him that he was, just to make him feel better. But it would be interesting to see what happens with that. And I hope we get to know Herschel a bit better later on down the line. I don't know if it'll be in these bonus episodes or maybe next season. But as long as it happens, I'm good. Because I was actually hoping for a bit more of the Maggie and Negan stuff. I thought that could have been an episode on its own, just those two. I'd have loved a two-hander with those two talking things out. But we ended up going this different direction with the Reapers and stuff, which is fine, because we still have plenty of time and a whole other season yet to explore the Negan and Maggie thing. So I'm not too mad that we haven't gone that much yet, but I did like Negan's initial reaction to seeing her, just been like, shit, here we go. So I don't know if he's going to try and prove himself to Maggie, try and make amends with her, or if he's just going to keep his distance. I think either of those options are probably good. But the fact that Maggie's trying to put that aside, and she was talking about, not, give too much of her headspace to him. That's kind of what her walking away from him at the end of the episode. I think maybe that was symbolising that. And for Herschel's sake, if not her own, she just needs to put that aside for now and just put up with him. And she said she's willing to do so because she's bloody strong and I love her. Yes! So yeah, everything that was cool. And Daryl just being there to support her through all this, helping her along with the plans to kind of find her way back to Alexandria, trying to convince her to stay, all good stuff. And Kelly asking to come along so she can find Connie. I don't know if she's going to show up in these bonus episodes. Hopefully she does at some point, because obviously we did see her with I think his name was Virgil, the weird creepy guy from Michonne's last episode. So they're off doing something. I don't know if they'll get an episode to themselves or we'll catch up with her. Oh, I don't know if they're going to save that till season 11, but I hope she shows up fairly soon, because I love Connie to death. But I love that Kelly's still kind of very much trying to keep searching, and the idea of like lost sisters kind of carried a lot of big connections in this episode. Kelly and Maggie could both connect over losing their sisters because Connie's missing. Maggie lost Beth. And this Elijah guy as well. Maggie mentioned that he just lost his sister recently, and that allowed Kelly and Elijah to also have one of my favourite moments of the episode, where she was reminding him, "You're not alone, I'm with you through this," getting him to take his mask off. And I don't know if that he just uses that as like a protective barrier, makes him feel safer, but clearly he's been going through some stuff. So hopefully we'll get to learn a bit more about him as well, because he didn't have any lines or anything, so I feel like he's, got a lot of trauma to power through and deal with. So excited to see a bit more of what he can do, because we saw it even in the finale. He was a bit of a badass finale, I say, with his cool weapons and stuff. And Cole, he seems like a very confident person. Seems confident in himself and everything, kind of carefree, willing to crack a joke every now and again. And I think we need more characters like that. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting to know him a bit more. So Maggie's brought some interesting new additions with her that I think will be an interesting thing to delve into and see who they connect with and what characters they kind of interact with as well. So everything that was cool. And yeah, I really liked Kelly and what she brought to this. Her just going on a little search. I loved what she was talking to Maggie about at the end as well, just catching up about their sisters, having that really deep connection, because a big part of The Walking Dead's always been the idea of family, found family as well, and that being the driving force of a lot of scenes in this episode. It made this episode, for me anyway, feel like it had a lot of heart to it, because those connections between these characters, these familial bonds that are formed by blood or not, are often like the key to the show and the heart of the show, and certainly the success of the show, and why it's getting 11 seasons. So loved everything with that, and hopefully Maggie and Kelly can have more of a friendship growing in future as well. And Kelly and Elijah, some really great stuff from her in this episode. I really liked her a lot. And yeah, little Herschel, I goddamn love that kid. He's had one line. I would goddamn die for that kid. It's like Dog. Dog doesn't have any lines, he barks, but you're damn right I'd die for that dog. Oh my god, if we get Herschel and Dog like interacting, can you imagine? Oh my god. But yeah, it's just so nice to have a character like Herschel around, and that's one thing that I love, that when shows can last for like 10 years and do time jumps and stuff like Walking Dead has, you can have these characters have legacies continued just still in the same time frame of the show. So we can have Maggie and Glenn's son in the show and actually get to know him as a proper character. Same with like Judith and RJ. These characters can kind of age as the show progresses. And he's called Herschel. He's named after his granddad. So it's kind of like Herschel and Glenn are still very much alive in him now. And he seems very much like a Glenn type character as well. Like, gone through this big traumatic thing. Some of his people have died. He had to flee from all these people. And then he just waits for his mum in the tree and like throws something at her. Like, hey mum! All happy-go-lucky, finding the positives in the situation, it seems, kind of brings some light to the situation. Much like Glenn often did, I thought, particularly, in the earlier seasons. So that was nice to kind of see this person unspoiled by the world. Whether or not he can continue to remain that way is another thing altogether. But yeah, I would die for that kid, so I'm excited to see what else they're going to be doing with him. And we have, a few new members in Alexandria, and they have to rebuild that as well. So lots of challenges, lots of struggles still, but it's just great to see these characters again. It's great to have Maggie back. I really did miss her since she's been away, and I've been rewatching the show with my dad. I got him into it this past year during quarantine and stuff, and he absolutely adores the show. Got him the season 1 to 8 box set for Christmas. He was very happy. I don't know if he started season 9 yet, but we'll see. Rick's his favourite. So yeah, it's been great having the chance to watch recaps of the show and watch the old episodes back and just see how far things have come and changed as we head into like these bonus episodes in the final season. It just makes me so nostalgic for when I started watching the show on my channel, because I reacted to it from the beginning on my channel. So what a journey it's been, and it's great that these characters in this show can still have wonderful episodes like this one. And yeah, just some great character stuff. Looking forward to seeing what different things these bonus episodes can do, what other characters will get focused upon, and yeah. But overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great. Loved mainly the driving force, you know, developing Maggie again, getting reacquainted with her, seeing what she's been up to, seeing Herschel. I thought the Reapers were an interesting idea, like that scene in the woods hunting all those people down. It's actually quite tense, and I liked how that was all shot on stage and everything. So an interesting potential new villain to explore with them. The idea of like your lost sister, that kind of brought some really impactful moments, I think, between the characters. Certainly the standouts moments of the episode for me were scenes like that, Maggie and Kelly's conversation, Kelly and Elijah's conversation, that little exchange, Daryl and Maggie talking about Herschel and her time away, all of that stuff. Just letting the characters shine. The Walking Dead has a very good balance of that, I think. Character moments and some more action-heavy stuff like the sequence in the woods. So yeah, coming off of a high-stakes finale, it was nice to kind of have a bit of a breather, but there was still some tension running through it. And I look forward to seeing what the remaining 5 bonus episodes are going to focus on. But I really enjoyed this one, and I think it set the standard pretty well to kind of explore more in the next 5. So yes, great to have more Walking Dead back. Really enjoyed this episode, and until my next reaction, thanks for watching.